Hey, Shalom, my brothers, all praises to Yahweh Shem Shai, double honors to the apostles, and Shalom to you brothers that are members of the elect out there, and to you sisters also that are listening. Again, I want to say all praises to Yahweh Shem Shai. And this video here is a quick video about what's going on in Jersey City. I've been doing a little bit of research, looking into it, the situation in Jersey City. And what's going on there in Jersey City has been going on there for, I would say, the past decade or so. There's been tensions rising. There's been tensions rising between Amalek and Jake. So-called Jews who call themselves Jewish, and you so-called Negroes, so-called Hispanics, you Israelites. There's been a lot of tension going on because of gentrification. And as of lately, tensions have been increasing more and more because in Jersey City, the developers, that are coming in and building new developments, they've been hitting the outer skirts of Jersey City and basically making their way towards the inner part of Jersey City, the downtown area and the inner part of Jersey City. Now, the outskirts, they started building, apartments, condos, $1 million condos, $1 million apartments. And so Amalek and other people have been moving in who can afford those prices. It's still cheaper than, Brooklyn, where they're coming from, in New York City, Manhattan. Is cheaper. So as you brothers know, that once you start building developments like that, basically property value goes up. It goes away. It starts skyrocketing. And as they make their way towards the inner city, because the inner cities, downtown is where they have their coffee shops and, their gyms, their fitness centers and this and that. As they move their way there to build out their fun activities, their leisure activities, that's where Jake lives. Jake is usually downtown or near downtown. And so these Amalek is basically the property value is going up so high as far as rentals that Jake can't afford it. And Jake has to leave. And they're basically they're forcing Jake out of there, not giving them proper time to leave. Usually you get whatever it is for when you're evicted, but giving them 30 days to get out and leave. It's being totally unfair and kicking Jake out of there. So there's huge tensions, and it's basically like a firecracker has been a firecracker waiting to go off. And it's it's funny that this incident just happened in the midst of all that. And I want to say this before I go on, that what happened in Jersey City, those the two Jakes, the Jake and the Jake woman that went in there went on a shooting spree. We don't, Hebrew Israelites, we don't condone that. I was never taught that. I don't know any brothers that believe in those actions, because the Lord said that. Well, matter of fact, let me read the scripture. You always go to the scripture. So this is what we believe. Let me tell you what I believe. Inside joke. This is what we believe. This is Romans chapter 12, and I'm going to start at 17, which says, recompense to no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of all men. Now, it's well documented the history of Esau, the so-called white man, spearheaded by Amalek, the so-called Jew. Okay, and I'm talking about slavery, because we know that the so-called Jews own the two major slave companies, or the ships. Yeah, there's two major corporations which own the slave ships, which ran the triangular slave trade, which are the East, which is a West Dutch India Company, and the East Dutch India Company, and you can look those up and you can verify yourself. So slavery was spearheaded by them, and slavery ended close to about 200 years ago, which is not very long at all. Okay, you have people around today that are 100. I think I read a couple days ago that there was a birthday, a nigger woman, her birthday. She just celebrated her 118th birthday yesterday. So not too long ago, when Jake was still being lynched, castrated, killed in the name of Christianity, and it's still being done today by the so-called police. Okay, and the major religion here is Roman Catholicism and Christianity, which they both believe in Jesus Christ, Caesar Borgia. Okay, and they kill in those names. Matter of fact, the police officers, they carry a card on them of Saint Michael to protect them from, from the elements, which is Jake. All right. So when they kill you, in their minds, they're putting away evil. You see. So Romans 12:17 says this: recompense to no man evil for evil, provide things honest in the sight of all men. So in other words, follow all the laws. Here in America, you follow the laws. And as you know, as any police officer will tell you, that the Hebrew Israelites are the most law-abiding citizens you can find. We're a peaceful people. You see, we're a peaceful people. So it says, provide things honest in the sight of all men. So you get up, you go to work, you make an honest living, you take care of your finances, you pay your taxes. You do all that. You take care of your business. Verse 18. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. And we live by that. We say hello. I go to work. I say hello. Good morning. Good evening. How's it going? All right. Everybody that knows us, we're the coolest. We're the most peaceable, friendliest people on the earth. All right. The only time we have a problem with us is when we're doing the work of the Lord, because what? We tell the truth. We're not saying anything out of our own hearts, out of our own minds. We're reading the scriptures, the same Bible, the same book that all you Christians use, the same Bible that used to be in all the hotels, the same Bible that you walk in the courtroom and they ask you to swear by. Everything that we speak about is in that book. We're reading the same exact words. That you could go in the courtroom, pick up the Bible, and open to the chapter and the verse, and we're speaking the same exact words. You see, but that's what they don't like. So you got to ask yourself: is this really a God-fearing people or a God-fearing place? Do they judge righteously? Do they judge by the commandments of the scriptures? Obviously not. But even so, our job is just to be a messenger. Okay, we're angels of the Lord. So the word angel means messenger. We're just out there to put out the Most High's message, just like all the prophets did. Okay? Verse 19, dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. So in other words, don't go out there and do anything stupid. No acts of violence, nothing stupid. Because the vengeance is not ours. We're here in America to serve judgment according to the Bible. Okay, and according to the Bible, all the things that happened that transpired against the so-called Negro and the so-called Puerto Rican, the so-called Latino tribes, and those of Native and Indian descent, all the things that we suffered here on this land, according to the scriptures, we were supposed to. You see? So it's not our place to get mad and get angry and act acts of violence. You see? Because if you do that, what's going to happen is you're going to end up like them Jersey shooters did. They're in the grave right now. That's how you're going to end up. You see? So it says, but rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine. I will repay, saith the Lord. So the Lord is going to exact vengeance or exact payback. Okay? The Lord is sitting in the heavens. You see? The Lord said what? That the earth is his footstool. So the Most High and his son Yahushua, whom the world calls Jesus Christ ignorantly, they're up in the heavens, and they're the ones that's going to exact justice. Okay? So let me get into what I've got here. So like I said, I'm gonna hop around, and you brothers out there, you could search this yourself. I'm gonna go quick. Because I got a bunch of articles here and I don't want to take up too much time. But you brothers could Google, gentrification in Jersey and find your own information and bring stuff out that I haven't brought out. So I'm going to play a couple of these clips. But as you can see here, Jersey City gentrification accelerates, changing neighborhoods and lives. Now this is in 2016. So let me play a little something here.
It's only mid-March and the sidewalk cafes are already out. Nannies are pushing high-end strollers past the city bike rental station. If you're not from around here, you could confuse this for a downtown neighborhood in Manhattan or Brooklyn. But this is downtown Jersey City, a fairly typical sunny morning on Grove Street nowadays. But it wasn't always this way.
This, for a long time, and people who grew up here would know this, the downtown area was amongst the poorest areas in the city, and there was nothing close to the waterfront. So when people like to say, well, obviously it would develop, and of course all the rich people live downtown, and it's a tale of two cities, I generally point to them that for the 200 plus years of this city's existence, the downtown area was relatively non-existent. What
a difference a couple of decades can make. In the 1970s, these beautiful brownstones were available for less than $100,000. We'll let that sink in before we tell you that today, some of those very same homes go for over $1 million. Local developer Paul Silverman and his brother Eric purchased their first property here back in 1981. Most observers will point to those.
So you heard that, brother. So back in the days, 70s, these brownstones that Jake was living in, they were worth 100,000, I think he said. But now they're worth over $1 million because of the development that's been going on. The homes that these Jakes live in, they're sitting in $1 million or multi-million-dollar brownstone homes. And so what these so-called Jews are doing, according to these reports I'm reading, and out of the mouth of the Jakes that live there, what they're doing is they're moving in and they want to purchase the house for cheap. You see, they want to purchase a house for cheap. So they're coming up with different legislative moves, and they're using politics to kick these Jakes out of their homes. Okay? And yeah, I will say no more. Let me just keep going. So that's one, all right? Here's an article here, and this was written in 2018, last year, June. Gentrification and the crippling. Let me blow this up a little for you brothers. Where is it? Gentrification and the crippling of the black community in Jersey City. Right? So I'm going to read down. Now this picture here is from Little Haiti. You know, this Levi. Same thing was going on over there, and they're protesting, Save Little Haiti. You know, Little Haiti. So, but they're putting this picture up because basically the same similar situation is happening in Jersey City as we speak, as you're listening to this. Now, this is by Reverend Willie J. Keaton Jr. So I'm going to read quick. The thing about gentrification is this. Most people who are on the positive end of it talk as if they made out so well because they were either smart or the tooth fairy just happened to leave excellent investment acumen under their pillow one night. However, those who are on the pushed out end of gentrification can smell a rat. They just can't find that rat's course. Now, let me see. In my opinion, gentrification has taken so well in Jersey City because Jersey City, Hudson County has a severe problem, a documented problem, I might add, with how it shares its economic prosperity with people of color. And, brothers, you can, let me shut this down, hold up. You can read, it's well documented, and there's studies and there's articles flowing around online, how in the world of real estate, how Esau comes up with laws and legislations and paperwork that makes it extremely difficult for Jake to do any real estate business and to get serious money for the property that they own. Okay? So reading on, it says, right here, has a severe problem, I might add, with how it shares its economic prosperity with people of color. By the way, New Jersey was the last of the northern states to abolish slavery. Forgive me, I digress. African Americans who left the cotton and tobacco fields of the South and migrated north between 1915 and 1940s for opportunity, used those same fingers that had picked cotton and cropped tobacco to build up the economy of Jersey City. Ironically, however, we now have a reverse migration. Many of their descendants are headed back south, empty-handed, the victims of gentrification. So the usual tale about Jake, man. They moved there for a better life, and, you know, leaving from slavery, and they move and they built up a city, and once it's built up and taken care of, Then here comes Amalek swooping in to take it from them again. So here, yes, I'm over here. Yes, in Jersey City, some people are basking in the glow of gentrification, but in the black community, we are left in the shadows to fight each other over the promissory note that is still marked insufficient funds. I believe deep down in my soul that a strong case can be made that gentrification should have been avoided, or at the very least, the sting of gentrification would not have been to be so bitter if Jersey City, if the disparity Croson study had been handled with care. So that's why I'm going to read on this, I think. On this article. So I'm just setting things up. All right. So let's go to the next one here. Okay. Gentrification coming way too fast in Jersey City opinion, which I think I just read. Hold on. Is this the one I just read? Oh, no. Okay. Let's see if this says something different. Yeah, here we go. Now, this one's by Chris Gadsden. All right. I grew up at 357 West Side Ave on the same side of the street as Diamond Auto Body. I lived down the street from Dairy Queen. They made a mistake here. Dairy Queen, and around the corner from Carmine. Let me see. Boom, boom, boom. I have concerns right here. I have concerns about the gentrification of that area. I believe your project expedites the process of removing the original inhabitants of the community with our new neighbors. Not saying I have anything against our new neighbors. I am just advocating for a more inclusive community where everyone will benefit from the development that is happening in our community. So it sounds like, to me, reading this, it sounds like there's a huge, severe case of racism going on in Jersey City against Jake, against people of color. All right, reading down, it says, according to Jersey Digs, your project will have retail and restaurant space along with a fitness center, coffee bar, golf simulator, rooftop community garden, and private bowling alley. Your project calls for 631 units to be included, along with 12,044 square feet of retail space and 279 parking spaces, according to the notice. The Real Deal also reported last month that the $120 million project is being referred to as the Element. It is expected to benefit from Opportunity Zone funding, and there are also plans for a saltwater pool at the development. So they want to kick Jake out so they could build their own little what do you call it? Their own little Simpsons city. All right. You know, like the Simpsons are their own little Sim City they want to build, so they're getting rid of all Jake so they could build their leisure, you know, their saltwater pools and their bowling alleys and their community gardens. And it's not hard to believe, because if you brothers know, Central Park used to be inhabited by Jake. Jake had their own private village there in Central Park. And they kicked Jake out of that territory, and they created Central Park for them to walk their dogs and jog and have fun. Okay? So let me see. Let me read down. I'm trying not to jump around, but this is Juice. So here it says, I have a problem with the exclusiveness. Okay, exclusiveness is what? It's exclusive to one particular people. That sounds like racism, if you ask me. I have a problem with the exclusiveness of the project. Your private bowling lanes, daycare center, and market rate rent tell the surrounding neighborhood that they can't afford to live around you and that they are not wanted. All right, so let me read down. Boom, boom, boom. Now, in another article, I don't know if I have it up, but it explains how there's a program they have for developments, which says that you have to employ at least 20% of the locals there that you're kicking out, so that they at least can make some money and at least can try to afford to stay there. And they're not doing that from what I was reading. Okay. So let me read down. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Yeah, so if you read down, it says, now this guy is basically coming up mentioning some plans that would benefit Jake and Amalek so they can kind of live together. But down here he ends it with, overall, I think you are another developer who will put profit over the original people. You have to sell a product to a group of people who are not here yet. You know, boom. Yeah, close accessibility to transportation to New York in an up-and-coming area of Jersey City. Why pay those huge rents in Manhattan when you can move to a community and watch the original people in it leave so that you can make it yours? Reminds me of 125th Street. All right, now let's move on. I got a video here. Damn, this one is good. So for freak, man, I'm gonna have to jump around this one, but pay attention. Skip all this crap. Skip all this crap. Okay, bro, I'm playing a little bit of this.
Studies program at NJCU. We'll meet some of his students in a moment. But Herman says it's this next wave of gentrification spreading to...
So, brothers, remember I spoke earlier about Amalek moving in the outskirts. Okay, so that's the first wave of gentrification. Then I said now they're making their way into the inner city, which they have already. Okay, and yeah, so when they speak about the second wave of gentrification, that's what they're talking about, okay?
In a moment. But Herman says it's this next wave of gentrification spreading to the inner city that could prove combustible.
I think if any way...
Combustible. You brothers know what that means? Combustible means an explosion. They're ready. In other words, a clash, a race war, whatever you want to call it. I mean, that's what usually that leads to, okay? But yeah, combustion. In other words, they know that there's going to be some type of explosion that's going to happen, okay? Between Jake and Amalek.
Spreading to the inner city that could prove combustible.
I think if anywhere we're going to see that clash, it will be in a neighborhood like Brooklyn Lafayette, because those neighborhoods are areas that have traditionally housed working class people and people of color.
Now, I'd be interested to find out, because I don't know the area well, if where the incident happened in Jersey City a couple of days ago, I wonder if that happened. It had to have happened in downtown area. You know, I'm pretty sure it did happen in the downtown area, because if they went to a bodega and all that, then it had to happen in the inner city. Okay, where this Jake is talking about now, where the combustion could happen and the clash. He mentioned a clash. All right.
And now you have middle-class people coming in from who they can't afford places even in Brooklyn or Queens or Bronx, and they're moving here, and they're looking for homes, not necessarily just apartments or condos.
So to help you brothers understand, so the condos and apartments were, you know, are there already. They're built, and they're super expensive, so Jake can't live there. And Jakes that were living in those former buildings, or existing rent buildings paying rent, they're being forced to leave because rent is going up to an amount which they can't afford. Now, when they say middle class from New York are moving in, they're talking about people that can afford $1 million homes, $1 million rent. Okay. So as he said, they're not looking for apartments. Now they're looking for homes. So they're kicking Jakes out of their homes now. So first was Jake's getting evicted from apartments. That was what started happening and is happening now. But now they're trying to kick Jake's that own homes. They want to get rid of them. So of course it's going to cause serious tension. I mean, what do you think is going to happen?
And I think that's looking for homes, not necessarily just apartments or condos. And I think that's where we're going to see the flashpoint.
This block of historic row houses on Summit Avenue.
Sorry, brothers. Hey, if you brothers know what a flashpoint is, right? A flashpoint is thing about cooking, a flash in the pan. Okay, that's when you throw something in a pan and it's grease and you get that flame, that burst, that combustion. That's what a flashpoint is. So they're expecting, or knowing the MO, they can cause a flashpoint. They could cause a clash. They can incite a situation which would cause or increase tensions even further. You see?
is right in the middle of one of the city's predominantly black neighborhoods. The Avenue is right in the middle of one of the city's predominantly black neighborhoods. But over the last 10 years, the makeup of this community has been changing significantly. Earl Morgan is a retired newspaper columnist and lifelong resident of Bergen-Lafayette. He has literally seen it all in this neighborhood.
Right, we had enormous fights with the druggies on the corner, and that all. We finally smoothed all of that away. Now some other people want to come in and say, "Thanks a lot.
We'll take it.
We'll take it from here."
Hey, brother. Now you mentioned you heard what he said, right? He said that Jake. We read the article where it said Jake came into Jersey City from the south. They moved up north, and they basically built up this community to what it is today. And this Jake is just spoken about how they got rid of all the pimps, they got rid of all the drug dealers, they got rid of all the so-called bad elements. Because Jake, man, brothers, look through history. Anywhere that Jake lived or formed communities and came together, they always prospered. Then here comes Esau to destroy it. Black Wall Street, perfect example. You see, I mentioned the village in Central Park, right here, Jersey City, built up by Jakes, according to what Jake is saying. All right, and they got rid of all the bad elements. Now, check this out, right? There's a woman on the Department of Education in Jersey City. Her name is Terrell Owens or something like that. No, Joanne Terrell, right? Now, this is a Jake woman, nigga woman, older, right? Now, read what she says, right? Now, this is after this Jake said they got rid of all the bad elements, so it's a great, they cleaned it up. It's a great place to stay right now. So here is I guess this guy is also on the Department of Education. Where is this type of attention from City Hall when Moorish people are getting gunned down left and right up on a hill, right? In other words, how come there's no big news thing about that, calling them terrorists and this and that? What happened to that? So this is Joanne, the lady. Let me read this quick. Where was all this faith and hope when black homeowners were threatened, intimidated, and harassed by "I want your house" brutes of the Jewish community? Talking about Amalek. She called them brutes. And the Bible also calls them brutes, calls them beasts. Okay? In Job, the 30th chapter. They brazenly came on the property of Ward F. Black homeowners and waved bags of money. Resistance was met with more threats of "we will bring drug dealers and prostitutes to live next door to you." So, brothers, when we say, or when you read about how the drugs in the community, the pimps, the prostitutes, the bad elements, the guns were all brought in by Esau, the so-called white man, and by Amalek, who we know owns the police departments, owns the media. When we say they bring the drugs in, is documented that they have brought drugs into the neighborhood. Read what it says right here. They brazenly came on the property of, this is where my cursor is. They brazenly came on the property of Ward F. Black homeowners and waved bags of money. Resistance was met with more threats of "we will bring drug dealers and prostitutes to live next door to you. You will then sell to us." Where was this faith and hope? Who held black people living in rental properties owned by the Jewish people, but were given 30-day eviction notices so that more Jewish people could move in? The 1 million "Make It Yours" ads that mysteriously appeared in New York City. I wonder if I could find. Hold on a second. Hold on, brothers. You don't see live research. Hold on. 1 million. 1 million. Let me see if I. Hold on. The 1 million "Make It Yours." 1 million "Make It Yours." 1 million "Make It Yours" ad. Whoops, sorry. Ad NY. Let's see what we come up with. New York. Look at this. First time running into this. A new effort from a New Jersey urges "Make It Yours." Jersey City, once described as an unfashionable town named after an unfashionable state, has been having a moment lately, deemed much transformed from a scruffy blah blah blah. So this is from 2014. Let me see if we can find the actual ad here. The actual ad in the paper. No, I don't see the actual ad. But she wasn't lying because it's right here. Make it yours. Yep. 10. Yep. Make it yours. Let me see. Hold on. Let me look more into this real quick. Yeah, here we go. Real quick. The campaign to begin this week seeks to further burnish the image of Jersey City, which is benefiting from an increase in residential real estate construction, the arrival of businesses like Starbucks, and the relocation there of companies like Forbes Media, which had been in Manhattan since founding in 1917. The campaign carries a theme, Make It Yours, with the word yours titled for emphasis as if it was italicized. The theme is accompanied by a new logo that presents the C, T, and Y of city in bold capital letters and the words Jersey on the side, taking the place of the I. Okay, so it says the primary target markets are two boroughs of New York City, Brooklyn, and Manhattan, along with Bergen County. Yep. Yeah. So if you read down here, it goes into how they're going into development, blah blah blah. So she wasn't lying. So there it goes. So let me go back to this. It says the right over here, brothers. I'm not worried my cursor is. The 1 million Make It Yours ads that mysteriously appeared in New York City encouraging Jewish people to come to Jersey City did not fight hate. Why was the Friends of the Lifers program destroyed? Why was the Second Chance program destroyed? Many of the community gardens tended to by black people were eliminated. One still exists and has been harassed almost daily. Solomon Dweck did not spread faith and hope. He caused many reputations to be ruined. However, we learned 6 rabbis were accused of selling body parts. Heard nothing about that one in the news. Where is the truth in these reports? If we are going to tell a narrative, it should begin with truth, not more cover-up of the truth. Dialogue is important, but the truth is critical. The Fulton Avenue Park, Bethune Center parking lot story, I'm right over here, okay, was not about faith and hope. It was about taking from one community and giving to another community. There was no concern of faith and hope. This is just a small portion of the pains of the black community now being ignored in this rush to faith and hope. Drugs and guns are planted in the black community. Mr. Anderson and Miss Graham went directly into the kosher supermarket. I believe they knew they would come out in body bags. What is the message they were sending? Are we brave enough to explore the answer to their message? Are we brave enough to stop the assault on the black communities of America? My people deserve respect and to live in peace in the city. I'm speaking as a private citizen, not as an elected member of the Jersey Board of Education. These beliefs are mine and mine alone. Excuse me. So basically, yeah, she's on that the Board of Education. They condemned, the board condemned her opinions, which I just read here. And basically, what she's trying to say is that those shooters had a reason and they were justified for doing what they did. Like I said, the Hebrew Israelites, us, the Israelites, we don't believe those Jakes were justified. In other words, we don't believe they should have did what they did, okay? Because the scriptures say, we just read it in Romans, that the Most High is going to exact a vengeance, okay? And the Most High obeyed us to rule the powers that be. And the powers that be right now is Esau, the so-called white man. You follow the police department, the laws, all that is set up by them so-called Jews. They own the media. They own the media. They own the police force. They own everything. They own the property that we live on. You see? So it's stupid to go against them in this way. All right? Wait upon the Most High and just pray that the Most High delivers us out of this condition. Okay, now let me go back to this, play a little bit more of this, and I'm going to shut it down.
Whoa. He smoothed all of that away. We finally smoothed all of that away. Now some other people want to come in and say, thanks a lot.
We'll take it
from here. Whoa. And I have some enormous, very interesting conversations with them. Because when I point this out, they'll say, well, you're a racist. And I say, look, I've been here all my life.
Morgan knows that since 2000, the percentage of black residents here has dropped from 46% to 41%, while the percentage of whites has gone from 21% to 26%.
If you move a black person into a white area, it's like putting a little chocolate in the milk. Changes everything.
So is the reverse happening here on Astor Place and in this part of Bergen Lafayette?
Yeah,
where you're getting a drop of cream into the coffee?
It's more than a drop. They're coming in here every day.
Changing the names of neighborhoods into more realtor-friendly monikers like Bergen Hill, which sounds foreign to someone like Morgan. Newcomers are becoming a part of the local scene, like the Johnson family. They're from Freehold, but when they were looking for a place to open a hip eatery, they opened Fox and Crow on the Heights main drag, Palisade Avenue, in a spot formerly occupied by a notorious Latin nightclub in a neighborhood that is still largely Latino.
When I was painting the front, we attracted every walk of life in terms of that's cool, and conversation.
All right. I don't know if there's anything. Let me skip through this, brothers. I haven't even go this far yet. But
housing and the texture of the city. I tend to think that if the entire city looks like white, middle class to upper class professionals, it would be the type of city that nobody wanted to live in.
Stuff that they build, like crime is still here, and it's just getting worse. It's not getting any better than it was from when I was growing up. That's just how I feel.
I feel like if anything, it's making it worse.
Yeah. I think they're just pushing a certain amount of a group of people in this one area, and it's just a lot of tension amongst.
Yeah, brother. So you see that? Yeah. That's it right there. Now, I had a scripture in mind. Matter of fact, let me read this here. This one has been on my mind all day. The one that just popped in my head, I lost it, but here we go. Boom. Isaiah 32, verse 6. Okay. For the vile person will speak villainy. Matter of fact, let's look this up. Vile, extremely unpleasant, morally bad, wicked. Now, what does Scripture say about Esau? That Esau is the most profane. Okay, it was at Hebrews 12:16. So this is talking about Esau. For the vile person will speak villainy. All right, let's look at villainy. Villainy. Which the word villain comes from villainy. Villainy. Okay, whatever. Common spelling of villainy. The fact of state of being villainous conduct, villainous act, wicked, detestable, or criminal deed. Okay? For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy, okay, lies, and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the souls of the hungry, like them Jakes over there in Jersey City. They're emptying them out of their homes. And them Jakes are hungry, they're starving because what? There's no jobs there. They're raising a rent, now they're homeless. They gotta leave. And he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. Right. So them Jakes over there, they gotta leave because Esau, Amalek, they're creating a condition where Jake cannot sustain themselves in the condition that they are creating. Okay? Verse 7, the instruments, and what's the instrument? The instruments also the churl. Now, the word churl means what? Churl is an impolite and mean-spirited person, a person of low birth, a peasant. Okay? So we know what that's talking about. Go back to Job, those that are younger than I. Okay, we know that's talking about Esau. And what does it mean, younger than I? The word younger means insignificant, a nobody. So it says the instruments of the churl, okay, are evil. Now, instruments mean what? Right? A tool or implement, especially one for delicate scientific work. Okay? So their tool that they're using is what? The media. The media is their instrument. Okay? The media, the political system, their laws, statutes, commandments. The scriptures tell you that they're able to bring life to the beast. Why? Because they own politics. So they're able to pass laws. What's his name? Trump The day before the shooting, I believe, in Jersey City, he passed an executive order which made Judaism an official nation. Now they're a nation or a race of people. And that's just with the stroke of a pen. So that's their instrument. The instruments also the churl are evil. He devises wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, right? For instance, the incident that happened in Jersey. We have nothing to do with that. We don't know who the hell the guy is. We've never seen him in our lives. Okay, it's not even determined whether he was affiliated with any church or not. Yet they're putting these lies out there that he was affiliated, or his actions were based on his Black Hebrew Israelite teachings, which there's nobody out there, including us. Well, I'll say that we don't call ourselves Black Hebrew Israelites, so that doesn't pertain to us. We're not Black Hebrew Israelites. We never refer to ourselves as such. And we are from the line of Shem, okay? So we're not anti-Shemitic. And when you look up the word Semitic, first of all, Semitic does not exist anywhere in the Bible, okay? So it's not even a word we recognize. But if you look up the word Semitic, they derive that word from Shem. And we're not anti-Shemites. We are Shemites. And the word anti-Semitic refers to anybody that is against a group of people that speak Semitic languages, such as Hebrew and Arabic. And we speak the Hebrew. The name of the Lord, the power that we call upon, is in the Hebrew, Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, his son. So how the hell can we be anti-Semitic? Okay, you're just making shit up. But hey, what does it say here? The instruments, also the churl, are evil. He devises wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words. The media, what do they put in the media? Lying words. In the news, lying words. Even when the needy speaketh right. You see? Even when the needy speaketh right. So we can say we're not affiliated all they want. They know what we're about. They know we're not about violence. Okay? We're not about violence. We speak against violence. We speak about putting matters into your own hands. And there is no, like Vocab Malone said, when the time is right or not yet. There is no yet. There is not no when the time is right. The Lord said that the vengeance is his, and he said he will repay. We just read it. I can go back to it again if you didn't hear it the first time. You see, verse 8, but the liberal devises liberal thing, and a liberal thing shall, and by a liberal thing shall he stand. You see? So with that, I'm going to read this one last time to drive the point. Romans 12:17 and 19. Recompense to no man evil for evil. Provide things honest in the sight of all men. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Verse 19. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So brothers, pray for yourselves, pray for all other brothers. Pray that the Lord hasten the day, and pray that the Lord increase your faith and increase your strength. And we're down to say all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Shalom.